Hey everyone, it's Cheyenne. I'm back. If you remember from my last video, I said there was a testimony behind me getting this apartment, and that's just what I want to talk about today. I want to go through it. So let's just start from the beginning. So around, let's see, 2024, I really was like, okay, it's time for me to find an apartment. I was 26 at the time, and my mom is 60. Well, she's 68 now, but at the time, she was 67. She wanted to retire, and I was like, okay, I am the extra expense that is keeping her from being able to fulfill her retirement. Because with retirement, from what I understand, you get paid less than what you was making when you was actively working. So with that being said, if I'm the extra expense living with her, even though I'm working at the time and I'm contributing, I wasn't paying rent. She was paying rent. And I was contributing to my own groceries, but it's still not like the light bill, electricity bill, all that kind of stuff. And I wasn't making enough to do so either. I was making enough just to survive, paycheck to paycheck, contributing what I could, but it still wasn't enough to be able to, if she was to retire, to support, help, like basically fill in that gap with what she was making. So me and my mom, we had a one-on-one discussion, and I just felt like I needed to move out. It was my time to be independent. It was my time to take that burden off of her of trying to afford an apartment. Mind you, it was a one-bedroom apartment I was sharing with my mom, which still was barely making ends meet. I wanted to take a lot of that financial burden off of her caring for me and being able to be independent myself. So I started thinking about what that took. The job I was making at the time would not been able to support me living alone. I needed to I needed a pay raise, find a second job, or find a new job entirely. So my first step was, okay, because the job I was working with, it was a good environment. It wasn't a bad environment. I knew what I was doing, and it was on a bus line. I don't have a car, which was another part of this. I was kind of debating, should I get the car first so that I could find a decent apartment, or should I just get a new job and or another job or a raise and just go for the apartment. That was a whole nother back and forth of which route I should do first. But either way, I needed some more income. So I first talked to my boss. I asked her because I work in the medical field. So I asked her, can I pick up positions at other places, other locations, the ICC or something like that. And so in order to do so, there's a lot of logistics behind working two jobs in the same company. I had to fill out a form. The form, letting them know that my boss approves me of doing so, working in another location under the same company. I was waiting to hear back. No, the only locations that were available was locations I couldn't get to on the bus line. Like I said, I don't have a car. So actually, before even that, I had to get my license first because I was still battling back and forth between getting a car first and then being able to have more range of where I could live or getting an apartment. So I got I started my lessons in December of 2024. I got my license January of 2025, I'm sorry. And that's another thing. I was like, oh, I should get my license so I can save up for a car, and then I'll have more leeway to where I can move. But anyway, so I didn't have a car at the time, so the locations for me was unavailable. Like, I just could not, unless I was Ubering back and forth, which is a waste of money. I'm trying to save money. I don't want to Uber back and forth because Uber is expensive. So I was like, heck, that's not gonna work. So I just started applying for other jobs outside of the company. No one was getting back to me. Nothing was happening because of my hours. Because I was still working full time at the current company, but I needed something on the side. And because I don't have a car, I can't work late nights. I couldn't get to whatever the other job location in less than 10 or 15 minutes because I'm on a bus line. So nothing was working out time-wise for me to get a part-time job. So I was like, okay, that's not working. So I went into my boss's office and talked to her about a pay raise. Because I only worked there for 6 months at the time, I didn't have enough time there in order to get a raise. So that was something like, X that out. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna need a transfer. Like, I need a completely different job that's gonna pay more. So I started looking around first. I started looking around to see what was available. I found about 3 options. So I went to my boss and asked her for a release. The rules is you have to work at that position before being able to apply to another position inside of the company. Excuse me. So, what I was saying earlier is that there's different branches of the company and you can't really work for both at the same time, which is why I had to fill out that form for the ICC. But anyway, so I went to her. I explained to her the situation. Like, I'm trying to allow my mom to retire. She can't do that if she's still supporting me. Therefore, I need to, get your boots on, get on your backpack or something of the sort. Whatever that song is called. Kick on your boots, put on your backpack. Whatever the saying is, that's what I needed to do. That's what I needed to do. I really need to get my big girl panties on and figure out how to be independent and being able to afford to be independent. So I went to her office, real teary-eyed, no lie, because I really needed her to approve my release because we were technically understaffed at the time, which typically makes it hard for the boss to do an early release. But she felt my story. She understood this was very important to me and this was bigger than me. It wasn't just me being like, I need more money. It was more like, I need more money because there's a goal in mind and there's not just involving myself, it's involving my mom. So that's where she gave me the release and I started to apply for jobs. Praying and praying. I just remember praying one night. I'm talking tears, boo-hooing to the Lord, child. And I was just directed to watch a video on YouTube. Mind you, I'm pretty familiar with God directing me to watch videos because that's the way he communicates to me. Some people, God communicates to them through signs, through visions, through dreams. Some people can just crack open the Bible and boom, there's a verse. But God knows I'm more of a visual person. I need to see the video. I need to understand. I need to hear someone's testimony. Like, that's how things get through to me. That's how the word gets through to me. It may look different for you. I pray that you discern how God communicates through you, how you hear and see his word, as it's different for everyone. It's unique to everyone. But I'm more of a visual person, so videos is how God communicates through me. To me. That's the vessel he uses. So I'm not unfamiliar with God directing me to a video or a podcast or some sort of audio message or a song, something like that. But it was just like an urgency to crack open YouTube. And I'm like, okay, Lord, okay. I pause in the middle of my prayer and I open YouTube and boom, there's this video. I'm talking about, it hits right on the nail, like exactly what it is. Like, it hits right on the head of how I felt, what I was dealing with, what I've dealt with in the past, what hindrance I may be feeling, what hesitancy I'm feeling about moving out, why I'm going back and forth about, should I get the car first, should I do the apartment first, and just have faith that God is going to pull through. And I'm talking, this video was saying, the woman in the video was like, it's going to happen fast. I know you're scared. I know you have doubt. I know you've dealt with rejection before, but it's going to happen fast. So I'm like, okay, Lord. Okay, Lord. I'll start doing the tours, the apartment tours. I'll start doing it. I think I went on maybe 3 apartment tours. Failed, baby. Not up to par. I'm talking laundry room scurry, like what's down there, I don't know what's in the basement. One of them had a little crispy crawly, roaming around. I said, hell no, I ain't dealing with that. Oh, I'm talking about the Lord and I'm cussing. Sorry. I'm saved, but like, God's still working on me. Forgive me for my fruitful language anyway. So let's see. Sorry, I got a message from my boss. This is actually my day off. So I was a little distracted by that, sorry. But yeah, no, I wasn't going in that apartment. There was another apartment I was going to, and just in the office, the lobby area, it felt wrong. And my mom went with me, and we both looked at each other, and we both we felt this unsettling feeling. It was like, no, this ain't it. And so there was this apartment, the apartment that I'm in now. It was an apartment I looked at, and it was just a feeling of like, yeah. I think I was scrolling on one of them apartment sites, those apps, and I was like, yeah. And so I was online, I was booking the tour, but my friend, because I needed a ride to get there on time, my friend at the time, I asked her, what's your availability? Well, not at the time, we're still friends, but I asked her, what's your availability? Because at the time, she's in school, so clinicals and her own work and her own personal things. So she has a really stringent schedule. She wasn't able to do the tour until the following week, or go with me to the tour to the following week. So that's what I put in. Then I get a message from the landlord saying, we actually need you to come in this week. Like, we need you to, like, the spots are filling up. If you really want an opportunity, people are booking these tours to view this apartment. If you really want an opportunity, you need to not wait. You need to go ahead and view this apartment this week. So I was like, oh shoot, like I don't have a ride this week. The person I'm relying on is not going to be available. So I was like, okay, who else can I ask? So there was another girl that you saw I mentioned in the previous video, Yatlin. I was just now getting to know her. I only know her for a few months, and I just wasn't too keen on asking her for the ride. Um, I just was like, I don't know. We just met not too long ago. Is she gonna be willing? I don't even know what her schedule looked like. So I was like, but God was just like, be obedient. Like, this thought didn't pop into your mind coincidentally out of nowhere. I placed it there. Be obedient and ask. So I did. So I asked her, I texted her, I don't know, 8, 9 o'clock at night, like, hey, the only other available day would be Wednesday of this week. Are you available? I'm sorry, this is like last minute. She was like, no problem. Sure. Like, just give me the time and the address of where we're going. So I was like, oh, just that simple. Like, what was I afraid of then? Like, so that's what we do. Wednesday of the same week. Just, I think it's probably like Sunday night. So just a few days later, we're on this tour. The apartment was, the rent was a flat rate. And so was the utilities was a flat rate. So, and it was in my budget. The utilities plus the rent was still all within my budget. Wow. It's on a bus line, so I can get to the grocery store. I can get to my mom's house. It's really close to work. So, in my dad's place, my dad is only a few blocks away. So I'm just in proximity. I have access to everything that I need, and it's within my price range. And I'm like, wow, okay. Let's give the tour, give me a look around, and it's perfect. It's the perfect size that I need. It has washer and dryer connections. It has a storage unit. It's a 1-bedroom, which you all saw in the previous video. It has everything that I need for little old me. And I was like, wow. You know what? I told the landlord, give me the application or send me the application. And I was just like, Lord, if this is what's meant for me, I know it will be. And I also been working on my credit as well. Like, that's something else I've been working on, not just saving. Oh, I missed the whole part. I missed the entire part of me getting the job. I'm sorry. That text message really threw me off. But I did end up getting a job. The job is also in proximity to us where I was looking at. It's access to a lot of bus lines. So that's something else I was saving up. I've been saving up. I was saving up even with the job prior to. I was putting aside money. Then the job that I ended up getting, I was putting aside money because God directed me to that job as well. The other two, the interviews and stuff didn't pan out, but this particular job, it sailed right through. And the job that I applied for is not even the job that I end up getting. I end up getting an even better job, a job that aligns better with me. Well, at the time, of course, I still worked the job, but that's a whole different spiel. But it paid more even for what I was applying for. So even more than what I was applying for. So that was a blessing. So now I'm able to afford this apartment, and I've been saving up money. I've been working on my credit. Sorry, this is all over the place, but I'm trying my best to convey this. So I'm like, all right, Lord, I'm gonna put in this application, submit all the information that I need. For whatever reason, Experian lied on my credit report and said I had a 600. Baby, that's a lie. That's a lie, because at the time my credit was close. It was in the 700s. So I'm like, Who got a 600 credit report? Not me. My score ain't that low, baby. So I talked to, I put in a message in the application like, that's a bull-faced lie. I don't know where they got that number from, but it's not true. Um, so yeah, I was just praying and praying, like, you know what? I'm spending all this. I'm putting that note in so he knows, like, hey, don't let that discourage you. I will be a good tenant. That same night, responds back to me, you got it. Same night, same day, tour application approval, same day, that Wednesday. So by Thursday, I'm telling my mom, because it was literally that night. My mom was already gone to sleep. So next day I tell my mom, at first she was a little hesitant on it because she didn't go to the tour with me. But she eventually came around. I was pretty surprised at how well she ended up taking it. And the relief I can tell she felt by me being able to, like, you know what, Mom, I am going to move out. I really do want you to be able to retire. So I had I had one more check. Sorry for the stuttering, but I had one more check that was going to basically seal a deal, make sure I had enough money, not only to put a deposit down, but to survive and get some furniture and stuff. Well, a little bit of furniture. Basically get my necessities. Furniture, I was planning on getting the following check. So we start the moving process. We start packing and all that kind of good stuff. And so I put my deposit in, and I was waiting for it to fully go through, and I noticed that they put it towards my rent. There's an app. And instead of, because the first of the month was literally like a week after. And so I guess they decided not to charge me a deposit and rent back to back. So they just allowed it to be my rent as well, which the money that I saved for the rent again, like not again, but like the deposit and the rent, I was able to take that money and put some money down for furniture. I felt so grateful. I felt so much relief to be able to have that extra money, and that money also went towards the next 2 weeks, being able to survive the next 2 weeks, so that for my next paycheck I'll be back more, afloat. So yeah, like it just went fast, just like in the video. It went fast. Like, I think the entirety of it all was 2 months. Like I said, me finding the apartment, me moving in, all that was in like the same week. I got approved that Wednesday. I moved in that weekend. Happened really fast. But yeah, that is my testimony on me getting my apartment. I hope you all enjoyed. I'm sorry if I had a lot of ums and likes and stuttering. I'm still getting used to filming. But yes, I hope this encouraged you. I hope this, I really want you to pray on this. If you are in the process, or you are thinking about moving, or it's been a yearning on your spirit to move, I pray that this video touches you, it reaches you, and it just moves you to pray and really get serious about, should I move, Lord? But yeah, thank you. I have plenty more testimonies, baby. My friends say Shine got them stories for real. I'm just kind of seeing where, when God wants me to release all those, because some of them are really heavy. So yeah, just stay tuned, keep watching, subscribe, and come back. All right. Bye, guys.